What's up, Super Cool Nerds? Ricardo here with another edition of Super Cool Nerd Nation. I am here with the one and beautiful Alyson. How you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Believe it or not, this is actually the third time we're trying this. The first time, the sun was in the way, and the second time there was just way too much noise that their microphone picked up. So this is actually the third time we're trying this. So let's get it going.
Okay.
We're gonna start off with the 501st. Because I know you're a big Star Wars fan.
Yes.
And I am wearing a Star Wars shirt. So, and the movie's coming out later this year. How did you get involved with the 501st?
Well, I've always been a Star Wars fan, lifelong Star Wars fan, and 501st came about when a friend I went to Richland College with, we did the color run together, the little 5K, and one of the girls that she brought was in the 501st, and so I kind of befriended her and a couple other people that were there too that in the 501st, and asked some questions, learned about it. It was the first time I ever heard about it. I think this was like 3 years ago or so.
Okay.
And so I definitely was very interested in it.
And what are so you joined the 501st, but to join the 501st, so you have to have a like down to the T screen accurate costume.
Yes.
So what are you in the 501st?
I am a Jawa.
How did you become a Jawa?
It was, I like their character. They're kind of mischievous and sneaky, and I kind of like that. It's fun to be in character, especially at conventions and stuff, just running around messing with people. And then I had a friend in the 501st who made the costume for his daughter, who she outgrew it. And so me being short, I fit it perfectly. So, yeah, I got that from him.
There you go. And are you wanting to do any other ones at some point?
Yes. My next one is Darth Talon.
Okay.
I'm getting the contacts for it now and kind of getting the pieces for it. But my goal is to have that ready for AllCon.
Okay.
In March.
March. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got about 6-7 months, something like that.
Yeah. And then other than that, just a couple maybe one of the versions of Rey. Definitely Hoth Leia. Maybe Ewok Village Leia. I'm kind of throwing a couple out there. I'm not really sure yet. Just kind of have some ideas.
Okay. So you say you've been a lifelong Star Wars fan. How did your mom or dad get you into Star Wars, or did you just kind of stumble upon it?
It's definitely my brother, who's older than me. He was a kid when the originals came out, and so he had all the original toys. He kind of introduced me to it. I still have most of his toys.
They're worth something.
They're not in very good shape.
No,
they're well played with, for sure.
There you go.
But that definitely kind of got me into it.
So you say your brother got you into it. So did you guys watch it together growing up? Did you guys ever act out any of the scenes?
Not growing up. He didn't really. Because he's 15 years older than me, so he kind of moved out when I was pretty young. Okay. So we now watch them together every single year whenever they come out. That's kind of our tradition. If they come out in December, we all go. The whole family, we go and watch all Star Wars movies together.
There you go. So since you've seen them all, what is your favorite Star Wars movie, and what is the worst one you've seen?
Favorite is Empire Strikes Back. I don't think that'll ever change.
Okay.
It's
okay to be wrong.
Tops
it's okay.
it. The worst one.
Okay, what's your least favorite? I'll put it that way. That sounds a little bit better than the worst one.
Attack of the Clones is pretty bad.
That's my least favorite one.
Yeah, I think Attack of the Clones was not really that. I think I maybe only saw it once. Okay. When all the other Star Wars films I've seen.
I hate sand. It's rough and it's coarse and it gets everywhere. No. I can't take Anakin seriously in that. He really is a human disaster. But for me, it was my favorite growing up was Return of the Jedi. Okay. Just because of the green lightsaber and Han Solo and the Carbonite and Boba Fett, even though he's okay, but just the whole thing with Darth Vader and the Emperor and all that, I was like, Yeah. So yeah, but I get the appeal of everyone always saying Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars one, so and it is up there for me, but it's probably top 3 for me. So with Star Wars, did you ever get into the books, the comics, any of the TV shows?
One series. Didn't really read a whole lot of novels. but there was one series I did read. It's Jedi Apprentice. It was kind of cheesy,
Okay.
but it was like more about, I think it was like young Obi-Wan when he was like a teenager.
Okay.
So it was interesting to me because it was a while ago when I read it, so I was, you know, I think, I don't know, maybe like in my teens, older
Okay.
teens, so it was more interesting then.
Okay, cool.
But that's
cool.
really the only novel I really got into,
Okay, cool.
or comic book or anything really.
So speaking of comic books and reading, did you read comic books growing up or any other kind of books?
Yes, I loved Ultimate Spider-Man, Amazing
Okay.
Spider-Man. Read those pretty regularly.
Okay.
I liked the Ultimates. That was a good one. And then Wolverine story, I really liked it. And some Wonder Woman.
And what about books? I know you are a Harry Potter fan, right?
Yes.
Did you grow up? Did you get those? Did you start reading those like when like they first started coming out, or did you get into them late?
My parents got my sisters and I the first book like right after it came out when it just got all those awards for before any other books came out, and we didn't really know what it was. So I was the last of my three sisters to read it. So of the three of us to read it, and it was kind of hesitant because like, I don't really know if I want to read this. And my sisters loved it, and they're like, you need to read this. So then eventually, I got around to reading it, and then been hooked ever since. Got every single pre-ordered every book after that, and then stood in line to go pick it up at the bookstore every year until the last one.
Yeah, I got into them late, so but I did stand in line first at Walmart when the 7th book came out. So I was the first one to purchase a book whenever that came out. So I was very happy about that. What's your house?
Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw. Mm-hmm. Did you do this on Pottermore? Or did you
I
just
did, yes.
You did? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Did you also do the American one?
Probably. Yeah. Every test I've done, I'm always Ravenclaw. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Man, I did the American one, but I can't remember. It was some weird name, but I don't remember it because I'm like, I don't know anything about this. I'm just gonna stick with Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to go to Hogwarts.
Oh yeah.
So have you been out to the Wizarding World?
Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Oh, you need to go.
I need to go.
You absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So
It's definitely on my bucket list for sure.
you said a little bit ago you read Wonder Woman, and now the first time we met, you went to the Wonder Woman screening as Wonder Woman. How did was that like your first time cosplaying, or had you cosplayed before that?
That was my first big, when I really got into cosplaying, that was my first one, was Wonder Woman. I have a couple variations of it now, but that was definitely the first big event I did as Wonder Woman, other than, fan days that year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my main cosplay. Other than that, I went dressed up for Halloween and stuff.
So you hadn't cosplayed before that? Not really?
Not really.
And you said with going to Fan Expo and Fan Days, when did you start going to Fan Days, Fan Expo?
My first convention was A-Kon 12 years ago.
Okay.
Because of my ballet group I'm in, they used to perform there.
Okay, cool.
They did we did a Sailor Moon themed dance to the theme music, and we all dressed up as Sailor Scouts and
awesome.
We danced to it. Yeah.
What did you guys get to pick your scouts, or was it all just kind of
It was all kind of assigned to us.
Okay, cool. Which one were you assigned?
I'm not a Sailor Moon really into, I don't know much about it, so I don't know the name of them. That was the blue one.
The blue one.
The blackish blue hair.
Okay, so you Sailor Moon fans, if you guys know what that one is, just comment below, and we'll yay! Because I only know Sailor Moon,
I know Jupiter, Sailor Moon,
Neptune, maybe. I think under name of the planets, maybe.
I think I watched one episode once, and that was it. I don't.
So you say your first convention was A-Kon,
Yes.
12 years ago. Before that, once you started going there, did you only go there to perform, or did you also get to kind of walk around and check out the scene?
We got dealer badges being performers, so after we performed, I definitely took the badge and just kind of walked around the convention.
And so, in those 12 years, you never really kind of got the itch to kind of want to dress up and.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah.
And how come?
I don't know. I just never really like. After we stopped performing at Akon, I just kind of stopped going to conventions for a little while. I don't know, just time, money.
Yeah.
Come out.
Being grown up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what made you go back to conventions? Like how did that come about?
It was right around the time I started hanging out with the 501st members.
Okay.
Before I actually had a costume to submit. So hanging out with that group, and then of course they frequent conventions, and it's a big thing. So it made me really want to go again and actually cosplay, not just as Star Wars, but multiple other things.
So you've got your Wonder Woman, you've got the Jawa. What other ones? And you've done a Rey.
Yes, I've done a Rey. It was for a photo shoot. The photographer had the costume,
Okay,
so
cool.
I don't actually have the costume.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would love to do a Rey.
So officially you have Wonder Woman, a couple of Wonder Woman, and then the Jawa. What other ones do you have, or you are really wanting to do?
Okay, I also have a female Joker, Spider Gwen, Luna Lovegood,
Hey.
Cortana from Halo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I haven't worn that one to a convention yet because
Okay.
I still need to get the body paint, but I have the rest of the whole costume.
Okay, cool. I was just playing Halo 2 yesterday, actually.
Nice. I know I've got more, but
So, okay, cool.
yeah,
So you talked about ballet. How long have you been doing ballet for?
about 28 years.
28 years. How did you get into, how did you get into ballet? Like, was it one of those like, hey, we're gonna take you to this thing, or did you kind of growing up say, hey, I want to be a ballerina?
It was, my parents put me and my two sisters into ballet when we were young, and I was the only one that just kind of stuck with it. My two other sisters, they kind of branched out and did their own thing. One did ice skating and one did martial arts, but
Okay, cool.
I fell in love with ballet.
Ballet. So you've been doing it for 28 years now. What was that like kind of growing up? Because I know being a ballerina, it's not easy, is it?
It takes a lot of discipline, and there were some years where I definitely didn't love it, but I just kind of stuck with it, and it's almost more like, became kind of a habit or a routine.
Okay.
So it made it easier to stick with, but it's still not easy.
Are you still with the same company you've been, or have you changed companies?
I've been with this company for about 12 years since we started going to
Okay.
Akon.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, you guys put on shows, correct?
Yes, we are based out of East Dallas, and we perform at the Plaza Theater in Garland about 4 times a year.
And what shows are you guys usually? What shows have you guys done, and what's coming up for you guys?
Well, we're a really small company. There's only about 6 company members, so we don't put on like the full-length story ballets that you see a lot of companies do. We just don't have the numbers for it. So we do usually gala style, like small pieces that don't really have a story to them. That way we can fit more into our program and make it longer. So this next show is in October,
Okay.
and it's kind of Halloween themed.
Okay.
So we do Dance Macabre every year in October is kind of our Halloween show, and then this year we're doing a short story ballet, and I get to play a ghost.
Ooh, Dancing Ghost. I like it.
Yes.
So what are some of the favorite shows that you've done that like really stand out as like some of your favorite performances?
Well, this company, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we did a full-length story ballet that was original about a samurai maiden.
Ooh.
And I got to play the lead role. So I got to kill a dragon, which was a lot of fun. So that was definitely a highlight of my dance career.
Any others that you've done, not necessarily with this company, but just in general?
Yeah, well, I did Nutcracker for like 9 years in,
Oh, wow.
in the studio that I trained at. So that was definitely, it was fun, but it gets a little repetitive, especially when you repeat roles year after year.
Well, what role did you play in the Nutcracker?
Party guest, like 3-4 years in a row, and then Snow, and that was pretty much it. Just like rotating different
Different parts
different
around.
parts in, yeah.
Are there any shows that if you had the chance to be in to perform, or what are they?
Like if I wanted to, like,
Yeah, if you had the chance to perform in a
Okay.
show, what show or shows would they be?
Swan Lake for sure.
Which one?
Swan Lake.
Oh, Swan Lake.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my favorite.
Have you seen it before?
Oh yeah, I see it almost every time. they come like to Sky Theater every time they come and perform it. I usually go to it.
Okay, so continue with the ballet. Did you ever see either Black Swan or Suspiria?
I saw Black Swan. Wasn't a huge fan of it.
Okay.
It was just kind of odd. Like it wasn't a bad movie. It just didn't.
Did it just warp?
Didn't portray like what
What it's really like?
Yeah, it's done nothing like that. Like at least for the company I'm in, there's no competition or like competitiveness. It's like everyone gets along and
no one actually turns into
friends.
a swan.
No one actually turns into a swan or goes crazy or we're all pretty sane people.
And what about Suspiria? Did you get a chance to catch that one? My wife saw the remake. She said it was pretty good, but I've heard the original was just bomb. So, it's one I need to check out at some point. So, have you ever seen like ballet out in New York or anywhere outside of Dallas? No. One day maybe though, right?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to go and visit New York and go see a ballet there and go see shows on Broadway, but it hasn't happened yet.
So speaking of shows on Broadway, are you a theater fan?
Yes.
Did you do theater when you were in high school or?
Well, I didn't go to high school. I was homeschooled.
Oh, that's right.
But when I was at Richland College, I auditioned for the musical Guys and Dolls, and I got the lead dance role. So I got to help choreograph the musical and got just to help dance all the dancing parts. I'm not much of a singer, but I was able to at least harmonize with everybody else.
Okay, there you go. So do you like more like stage plays, or do you like more musicals, or just a mixture of both?
I go see plays often.
Okay.
And musicals, I love them both. I'd probably prefer to, if I was going to be in them, probably musicals, just because it incorporates dance, and I don't like to speak in front of on a stage. You don't have to talk so much when you're dancing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Any particular favorites that you've seen or want to see for theater?
I went to see Lion King when Dallas Summer Musicals came. That was amazing.
Did you cry?
No.
I cried.
Okay. No. And Wicked's always really good too.
I've yet to see that or hear. I haven't heard it yet.
Okay.
It's
so good.
It's on my ever-growing list of musicals I need to listen to. So.
Yeah, definitely go and see that one when they come back because it was amazing.
Anything that kind of recent that's kind of caught your eye that you wanted to see or haven't?
I want to see Hamilton. I have not seen it, and they just came, and I wasn't able to get a ticket because they were so expensive. And I was trying to win them because you could do the little lottery thing.
Lottery, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was filling the thing out every day, hopefully to get a ticket, but I wasn't able to, and I didn't want to pay like $600 for a ticket because I don't have that kind of money just hanging out.
Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
I got lucky. I got a pre-sale code, so my ticket, it was up in the rafters, but I mean I could see the whole stage, so
that's where the best music is.
Yeah, so I paid like a little over $100 for it, so I got to see it. It was amazing, wonderful. I can't wait. I mean, if it comes back through, I'm gonna go again.
If it comes back through, I'm gonna save for it. I'm gonna just go and see it because I don't want to miss it again. I don't know when it'll come back because obviously they don't tour over here that often.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we get the scraps at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's one I do want to see that they kind of came out of nowhere. Beetlejuice. I don't know if you've seen anything of it or heard it. It's like the movie. It's kind of like the movie, but it's actually more perverted from what I've heard.
Interesting.
So a friend of mine got to see it and said it was one of the best things she had seen. So I'm like, I want to go see it because I want to go to New York too. My wife's been to New York, and I'm like, I want to go there. It's awesome. So. So let's go back to cosplay.
Okay.
With cosplays, you say you got your Cortana, you've got your Jawa, you want to do your own Ray. Any others that you've kind of really want to do, or you've kind of got a wish list?
Not just Star Wars, just in general.
Just in general.
Okay. I know there's several I've been kind of eyeing, but I don't know. Other than the Star Wars ones.
All right, so give it a second. Think about that real quick. Well, then, so with the other cosplays, did you make them yourself, or did you kind of get some help? Did you buy them?
I'm not a good seamstress. I can like tweak things or like hem things or size down whatever I need, but I can't just make a costume from scratch. I don't have the time or the skills to do that.
I don't either. So
So
it's okay.
usually I will buy one, and then if it needs tweaking, I can tweak it. Like my Gwen Stacy, I got it off of eBay, and
Okay.
like it was kind of wonky. So I had to adjust things, like the shoulders were not shaped right, and like I had to make all these adjustments to the bodysuit. And my Wonder Woman, I also had, because it was a little bit big for me, so I had to take in the corset, and
Okay.
like I can adjust things, but I can't. I'd love to learn how to like make something from scratch, but
Yeah,
that's a skill I
I've
don't
only
have yet.
done one kind of by myself. My mom helped me out with it because my mom, when I was growing up, Halloween, all that stuff, she would make our costumes. So she helped me make my Sith Joker, and then like my Hamilton and my Princess Batman. Both were commissioned out, so it was
Okay.
like I don't have the money, or well, I kind of had the money, but I didn't have the time for it. So it's kind of like, here, someone else take on this project for me because I don't have time for it. So
Yeah.
let's do this. So, and it's funny because like some people that I know, they're like, oh yeah, sewing is good, but super glue works a lot faster. So, yay, super glue fixes everything. So.
Yeah, growing up, my mom made most of me and my sister's Halloween costumes.
Okay.
So we were Care Bears. She made
Oh.
sewed this whole on like body, like onesie
Yeah.
Care Bear costumes. And then she made me a Princess Leia, the Ewok Village
Okay.
outfit. So it was that from I think when I was 12 for Halloween. So yeah, she used to make. I was Cupid one year too that she made, like all sorts of stuff.
Any costumes that did your mom ever make you that you were like that you wore like even outside of Halloween? No.
No, because I was pretty young at that point. It was kind of weird when I was growing up to wear costumes not on Halloween.
I used to wear 1 year of Spider-Man. I wouldn't wear it outside of Halloween. I just walk around the house wearing Spider-Man, we're jumping off the couch.
I wore tutus a lot, kind of on a regular basis around
Okay.
the house.
Yeah.
If that counts, it kind of does. It's a
Yeah.
costume. Yeah.
Would you dance around the house?
Oh yeah.
Just kind of.
Yeah, I had this one tutu I wore like all the time.
You said you choreographed music earlier for Guys and Dolls. Choreographed dancing for Guys and Dolls. Did you ever just like on your own self like choreograph your own dance to like songs?
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what? Like what have you done a dance to?
Okay, I choreographed a Rachmaninoff piece for two of the dancers in my company. I didn't dance in it; I was just being the choreographer for that one. That was cool. And then I choreographed for a music video recently that I shot last year, but it was recently finished. And
That turned out really well, by the way.
It's what?
That turned out really well.
It did,
Like,
yeah. But that was all my just playing. Like he was just putting on music, and I was just dancing around that. Like that was all choreographed by me. Like I didn't have anything set previously. It was more improvised though.
Any songs that I've always want to like dance to or just haven't for whatever reason? Like there was one a couple years ago that there was I think it was a Russian ballet dancer that danced to "Take Me to Church."
Yeah, that was good.
And like now every time I see that, like knowing that you're a dancer, like I see that, I'm like I think of you because it's
Yeah.
like I can just see Alyson dancing to like "Take Me to Church" or something else.
There's
like that.
one of the songs from season 6 of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Every time I hear it, I just want to choreograph. But it's like like an 11 or 13 minute song. So I'd have to cut it because that's a ridiculously long solo. Like wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
But every time I hear it, just like, it's because season 6 had the best music.
So you're a Game of Thrones fan then
Yes.
as well. Have you read the books?
No.
Have you tried to read the books?
No, but now I'm kind of thinking because I was a little bit disappointed with how it ended. So I'm kind of thinking if he decides to finish his books, I definitely want to read them and get that different perspective on it. And then if he finishes them, see how they were actually meant to be finished instead of just kind of how they finished in the movie or in the show.
In the
'Cause
show.
It wasn't really. I don't.
Were you upset? Okay, spoiler, but the show's been out for a couple months now. Were you upset of Cersei's death?
It was a little unsatisfying.
Just being crushed by rocks wasn't enough?
Yeah, I was hoping Arya was gonna take her down, but eh.
Okay, so with Game of Thrones, did you get into it right away like everyone else, or did you kind of come into it late?
I came into it late. My dad was into it before me. He kept on telling me, "You need to watch the show. You need to watch the show. You're gonna really like it. This is like it's about fantasy and like all this dragons, and like, okay, that sounds amazing. And I just never really watched it, and I don't have HBO at home, so I had to like, didn't have any way to watch it, but then illegally. So
You found other ways to find it.
right. So eventually, I had some friends who were watching. It's like, hey, let's check it out. So we started watching together, and then I got kind of hooked.
So you said your favorite music was from season 6. What was your favorite season though overall?
Maybe 6. It
6
was
as well?
Yeah, it was a really good one.
What were some of like your favorite moments from Game of Thrones? Like anything like that really stuck out with you, that kind of stuck with you for like a long time, or still does?
I really like the wolves,
Okay.
dire wolves.
You know, they are in a sanctuary now over in. You can actually go visit them.
Oh,
A friend of mine actually got to play with them a few months ago, and I'm like I'm only in season 3, but I mean I know how everything ends, so
okay.
I'm like, okay, yeah, this happens. So I'm like, I'll
Yeah.
just catch up whenever. So now I want to talk about your Instagram name is Mustang Alley.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I like cars a lot, and I've been obsessed with Mustangs since I think I was 4 or 5 when I first noticed cars. And my dad used to sing the Mustang Sally song, but he changed Sally to Allie.
Oh,
So
aw.
whenever it would come on, he would sing it and then replace Sally with Allie. And it just kind of stuck. And then since then, I've just been following Mustangs. And then, I want to build a '67
Ooh.
fastback, blacked out. Eventually, that's my goal.
One day.
One day. When I have a garage.
How'd you get into cars?
I was like 4 years old. I don't know.
You just saw
I've
it?
always loved them. My dad, my brother, and I, we always go to car shows every year.
Okay,
We always
cool.
talk about cars. I do some work on my car because I prefer to do that than take it in and get work done.
And not a lot of people do that. Like I hate working on cars. Like it's not my thing. But though I did have an uncle that used to have a garage. So, so you say your '67 is your dream car.
Yes.
How many Mustangs have you? Excuse me. How many Mustangs have you owned or had?
Just one.
Just the one?
The one I have right now, yeah.
What year is it?
It's a 2012, and
Okay.
I've had it for 6 years.
6 years. Okay, so you got it a year after. Yeah. Okay. Then what? Like you never got interested into like Camaros or some of the others?
I don't have anything against Camaros, but I like them. I just like Mustangs more.
You think they're faster?
Mustangs will win. And that new the GT 500 that just came out is looking pretty, but it's like $70,000. So
Yeah, you can maybe sell a kidney or something.
exactly.
Any other dream cars? And not necessarily one that you will build, but anything you would want to own at one point? At some
Probably
point?
an Audi R8. I
Okay.
love those. Definitely multiple Mustangs. I know that when this car finally dies, then I'll definitely get another Mustang because I'm hooked now. I can't. Yeah.
A Mustang forever, right?
Yes, exactly. But also, I'd love to be able to drive like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, just to kind of have the experience driving it. I drove a really nice Tesla. I think it was a Model S when they first came out in California, so I got to test drive that, which was amazing because that was like a $120,000 car. It was fun.
Were you a little scared?
No.
No.
No, it was
I was
awesome.
like, I don't want to damage this car in any sort
Oh
of way.
no, it was amazing.
What have you topped out on your Mustang? Have you let it go?
Yes.
Yes. What's your top speed on it?
120.
120. Did you do it like on the road, or did you go to like a track?
I think it was George Bush at like 3 in the morning when there was no one else around.
Okay, that's safe.
Yeah, is it?
It's
if you're gonna do
relatively
that,
safe,
that's
yeah.
the highway to do it on. Really.
Have you ever thought about going out to like North Texas Speedway
Yes.
and just?
Although my Mustang used to be a rental before I bought it, so there's a cap on it. So 120 is its cap speed.
Okay.
I could take that off, and I could, but I haven't done that yet.
You haven't done that?
No.
You're scared that you might be too tempted to go past that? Yeah.
Especially if I take it on a track. But they do have that thing where you can like on Groupon, you can have that experience. You can like pay a certain amount of money and drive Ferraris and stuff around the track, which I thought about maybe doing that.
Would you ever want to go out to Germany and drive the Autobahn?
Yes, that would be awesome.
All right, so we're going to stick with cars. Any fictional cars you could ever want to get behind the wheel of?
Never thought about that.
There's we've got the car from Supernatural, we've got Knight Rider, we've got the Batmobile, we've got the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, any like cars, anything you've ever thought about, or even like a speeder bike from Star Wars.
Not really a fictional one. I mainly just like for watching the Bond movies. I'm always into the cars more than that's why I watch all the Bond movies, because the cars are the Fast and Furious movies. Just because I'd be happy driving any of those cars, or even Tony Stark's cars. Like he has good taste in cars.
Have you ever been tempted to go on a street race?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you?
No.
No.
Well, I kind of messed with the person next to me and kind of started to, but then I was like, no, we're not speaking today.
Did you see the new movie Hobbs and Shaw?
I did.
What'd you think?
It was good. I really liked it. There weren't enough cars in it for my liking. But
Any favorites on the Fast and Furious movies? Did you like anyone that like your favorite one? I guess.
I liked the first one a lot.
That was what was that? 2000. Man, it's been
it's
almost
been
20 years. Wow.
Yeah, that movie made me want to get a WRX STI. Like that's also one of my cars I'd love to have. It's probably not very practical, but it'd be fun just to have a total street racer.
Now, is Dominic Toretto right? American muscle over everything else.
Is what?
American muscle over everything else. Would you choose, or would you always go with American muscle cars over?
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Have you ever tried drifting? Or have you thought about wanting to try to drift?
I've definitely thought about wanting to drift, and I definitely played a lot of video games where I get to drift a lot. But in my automatic, it might be kind of hard to do.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But the next car is going to be a manual, so I might play around with that.
Okay, cool. So you did your music video. Your Mustang was in the music video with you, right?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
No, the music video was actually the photographer's Camaro.
Oh, okay, it was Camaro. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm not
but then
good
I
with
did
cars,
do
so.
a pin-up photo shoot with my Mustang.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Which actually gets me to my next thing. You also do a little bit of modeling on the side.
Yes.
How did that come about? How did you get into wanting to model?
It kind of started when I was pretty young. My best friend growing up, her uncle was a photographer, and so occasionally he would ask us to be in photos. So we would be it's more stock photos. So we'd show up at Target, and they're their frames on the shelves. We would be in it, or book covers because they get sold to who knows who. You know? And that's kind of where I definitely knew I enjoyed it, and it was definitely something I thought I'd like to do as a career when I got older. But then I'm only 5'2", and most models, you think at least 5'8", and then super skinny and tall, and yeah. And I don't fit that mold, so I kind of those dreams were kind of crushed early on. But now social media is such a big thing that you can do modeling, but you don't have to be a runway model or on Vogue or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I just kind of wanted to get back into it, so I messaged a couple of photographers and did a photo shoot, and then a model was in the photo shoot with me, and she kind of helped me, told me how to do it, taught me how to start an Instagram account, told me what to do, hashtags, or how to get noticed and what to do from there.
Yeah.
So she gave me a lot of pointers, and then I've kind of been just growing it ever since.
Cool. Any people you love working with?
Yeah. I have a regular photographer, Jesse, who I shoot with
Pretty often.
He shoots in Deep Ellum.
Okay, cool.
And then Israel, we did the music video together, which was really fun.
I'll put a link to that because if you haven't seen it, you really should. It's really, really awesome. It's just I'll just keep it that way. I don't want to spoil anything from it. So any shoots that you've wanted to do that you haven't, or have you done any cosplay shoots that you've wanted to do?
I have done a little bit of cosplay shoots, but I definitely want to do more. There haven't been I want to do more of the fantasy. I want to do that kind of Fairy in the Woods type feel with extreme makeup and costuming, just more interesting costumes and backgrounds and stuff. And because usually what I do is like glamour or fashion or boudoir, like it's very the same thing. So
Okay.
I'd like to do something a little bit more outside the
A little
box.
more on the nerdy side.
A little more on the nerdy side, a little more on the fantasy side.
So speaking of fantasy, you said Game of Thrones a little bit ago. What about like Lord of the Rings?
I love Lord of the Rings. Hobbit is probably my favorite book. I think I read it 6 times. Lord of the Rings I love too, but I just couldn't read them as much. But they're great.
What do you think of the movies?
Movies were pretty, like they were good for what they were, but they weren't comparable to the books. But I still enjoyed them.
So was it a bit of an abomination when they did try to stretch out Hobbit into 3 movies?
Yeah.
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 That's usually what I get.
And making love stories when there weren't any love stories in there, like.
With was it Keely and
Yeah,
And,
that was just a little odd.
I can't remember her name.
I don't see because she wasn't in the.
Yeah, I knew she was a made up character for the film. So
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I do love the actress though, which I am currently forgetting her name, but she's also Wasp in Ant-Man and the Wasp. So Evangeline Lilly. There we go.
Okay.
What about like the Chronicles of Narnia? Did you grow up reading those as well?
I did read them, and I did when there was a miniseries on when I was a kid. We watched that, but I didn't really get into it as much as say the other ones.
The other ones.
But those were great too.
All right, awesome. Well, hopefully, hopefully you can do some of those fantasy shoots because that would be really awesome to see. Because you don't see that much.
Yeah.
You see a lot of anime stuff. You see all like the people doing the cosplay stuff, but you don't see very much like. At least I don't, but I like a lot of the fairies or just kind of very mystical.
Whimsical. Yeah, exactly.
So it'd be kind of cool to see that. So hopefully I'll hope to see that sometime soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah. Any social media you want to plug?
Yes, my modeling account is Alyson Chance at Alyson Chance, ALYSONCHANCE, and my regular one is Mustang Alley 86.
Awesome. And both of them are on
Instagram.
So awesome. So check her out on Instagram if you guys want to follow her. She does. Her shoots are great. Again, I'm gonna plug the music video a little bit later. And then, so yeah, awesome. Well, Allie, thank you so much. This was awesome. It's glad to get to know you more.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys got to know her better as well. So we'll catch you around in the conventions, and then, so yeah.
Okay.
So as always, keep on nerding.